Hey everyone, Jackie here, and welcome back to Women Kick Balls YouTube channel. And for this month's feature, I'm speaking with a very special guest. So help me welcome the one and only Jenna Tonelli. Jenna, thanks so much for being on here.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I always love catching up with you, and I'm always so sad that we live so far away
So
and
far
we only see
away.
each other once a year, but virtual works too.
Oh yeah, it sure does. So quick intro on Jenna for those who don't know. And if you don't know her, you should definitely follow her at Jenna Tonelli on all things social. So Jenna is a freelance soccer writer. She's written for some pretty cool names and publications, but she currently works with Equalizer Soccer and writing pieces for them on the one and only Gotham FC. So Jenna, you are the iconic, like, I don't know, Gotham person. It's so cool.
Oh,
I love it.
thank you.
Yeah.
I
That's
yeah, I mean I just, I love a local team, so
We love that. Also would love to just hear a little bit about yeah, just how you got started covering Gotham. I mean, there's so much to it, but what was that journey like for you?
yeah, it's always such a funny story to tell because I never really intended to do this. I kind of fell into it in a way that I'm very grateful for. So it really just started where I was just on Twitter, up in the internet, just tweeting stuff about the team because I was a fan of the U.S. Women's National Team. Started to get in more into the NWSL after 2015 World Cup. And I was just kind of tweeting, and somebody reached out to me and said, "Hey, you seem to be pretty knowledgeable about the team. Do you have a writing background, and do you have any interest in covering Gotham?" This was, God, 2020 or 2021, I forget. And they had just rebranded. And I was like, huh, that's kind of interesting. I do have a writing background, and I really enjoy talking about this team. So yeah, let's do it. So I started writing for a site called Jersey Sporting News, which is still around, and they do a great job covering local sports in New Jersey, from high school to the pros, minor league baseball, all this stuff. It's very cool. And I started for them, just doing game recaps and little interviews here and there. And then I switched to writing for a site called The Local W. And then I just kind of went from there, and I really ended up liking it. I just fell in love with it, and here we are,
Here we
four
are.
seasons later.
So wild. Well, I love that. And I love that your experience is like so diverse because you also have a full-time job outside of soccer. So like
Mhm.
you are a busy woman and understand just the ins and outs of like getting interviews, going to games, and then still managing a life and a family and all this other stuff outside of soccer too. So for you and just for anyone listening, like how do you find that like work-life balance, or what does that kind of look like for you in managing just all these different responsibilities, but like with that same heart and passion of like working to grow the game too?
Yeah, what work-life balance? No. Well, so what actually really helps is that my wife, Adriana, also works in soccer, and she is
Power
also quite,
couple.
I know, she's the best. Works for CBS Sports and Attacking Third. And so she really understands what goes into this. And she herself also has quite a busy schedule with her job as well. So just having that understanding, I think, with your partner really helps for family life and all that. And I just I don't know, I'm just really fortunate. I think that I'm able to do both. It's definitely not easy, and there are times where it's really hard. In an article that might go out that it's 800 words, and it looks like it's like super short or quick. That probably took me days worth of work because of having to split it up over nights and weekends and fit interviews in on lunch breaks and stuff like that. So it's definitely time consuming, but for me it's really worth it. First of all, I just love it. I love telling stories. That's why I got into this. I love telling the stories about the athletes in our backyard who are just incredible players and people, and just growing the sport so that they can continue to thrive and also give people a platform to tell their stories and inspire more people to play sports and get into the industry in whatever way they want to. So for me, it's worth it. And yeah, it's tough, but rewarding and fulfilling.
Yeah, for sure. And speaking of that too, like in the soccer industry, I don't know about you, but like I've learned that it's such a small world. Like you know this person and then they know this other person that you were just talking to and it's like all connected somehow. And so it just feels like everyone knows everyone in a sense. And
Yes.
so for you, like what are maybe some things that have surprised you most obviously like in a good way about working in the soccer community and just what that entails?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think something that has been so incredible for me, I would say two things. One, it's definitely been the connections that I've made with my colleagues in media like you and just other folks like I'm thinking about my friends Gary and Ruby who do Soccer Over Gotham. It's a Gotham podcast, and we were there were times where it was just the three of us in that press box in 2021, and we just have they just become good friends of mine, and just from all around the league, from all around the country, friends who cover every team, or fans of the team who I've just met on Twitter and then met in real life at games. And it's just been so great to have this network of incredible people who I've found for the most part are extremely supportive and just great individuals, and I've had a lot of fun getting to know everybody. And also it's just been a wonderful experience getting to know the players as I feature them, interview them, and all that, and just seeing various players' trajectories, and especially I feel like the players who maybe don't get the same spotlights put on them. Those are a lot of the times the players that I really like to feature and interview, and just kind of see the way that some of them have developed and are just taking the league by storm. It's just been really, really cool. And yeah, it's just so fun.
Yeah.
It's just been really great on all sides.
Yeah, love that. Like, there's never a dull moment. I feel like because there's so much happening in the league as a whole, and then of course within a team, and just all that goes on. So, like, speaking of Gotham, I mean, they've had so many like wild moves this offseason from just a stacked roster and like seeing all of that unfold. So, for you, like, what are you looking forward to like covering most once the season starts, or do you have any pieces or projects coming up that you're like really excited about?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's been so much that had happened at Gotham, and it's been a lot to keep up with for sure. But I think the thing I'm most interested in is this March 15th new reformatted Challenge Cup, like one-off game where the team will have either San Diego or Gotham will have the ability to lift a trophy to start the season, in a single one-off game, not like the Challenge Cup used to be
Right.
where it was a tournament style ahead of the season. So I think that'll be really interesting to get a first look at what this team looks like. I mean, I don't know if we'll see a lot of the big stars play a lot of minutes because they'll just have gotten back from the W Gold Cup CONCACAF tournament, but I'm just really excited to see, the Gotham is coming off a championship win. They just added four national team players to their roster on top of an already kind of stacked roster, to be honest.
Yeah.
They already had Midge Purse, Lynn Williams, it was a crazy roster already. So yeah, just really, I think I'm gonna have a lot to say after that game. Hopefully, very positive
Yeah, seriously,
thing
I
to
know.
see. If this super team, so to speak, pans out.
Yeah, how they can mesh and just the different dynamics of that, because it is different when you see it on paper or just like on social media and stuff, but then
Mhm.
seeing it in action, like it's a whole different thing. And like yeah, like you were mentioning, Gotham had a huge season last year with so much growth of Juan Carlos, head coach of the year and different things, and then them winning the championship. Like I feel like there was constantly like just some major storylines and just big milestones for them. But
Yeah.
like for you, like what were maybe some of your favorite projects that you worked on last season, that kind of just brought you back to that like why of what you do?
That's a great question. I think something that was really fulfilling for me was the ability to watch and cover Jenna Neiswanger's uh, arc last season.
Yeah.
I was the first reporter that she spoke to on draft night. I remember I got on the phone with her in that back room where that all that food was, which I don't even think
Yeah.
I really ate because it was so busy that night. And just like could barely hear her, but she was so excited, and
Oh,
obviously she was like such a great college prospect, so there was a lot of hype around her. And not only did she live up to that hype, but she freaking smashed it. Converted left back, rookie of the year. what is it, 5 goals across all competitions,
Crazy.
first senior national team call up. And then, so I was the first reporter that she spoke with on draft night. And then fast forward to when Gotham had their trophy celebration after
That
the
was
kerfuffle, but we
yeah,
don't need to talk about
that
that.
was rough times.
Yeah. But I was able to attend and speak with her after, and she had just gotten her national team call up, and just kind of seeing that whole year kind of wrap up for her in such a great way. Was just so cool, and it's just been like a pleasure and an honor to get to cover her rookie season and now her next season, and see her. I mean, she played in that first CONCACAF Gold Cup match, and I mean, her and Midge were my players of the match. They were just incredible that night. So that, I think, has been last season one of the best parts of covering Gotham.
Yeah, Jenna, she is crushing it. So yeah, excited to see what she does this season. I remember you texting me asking me like who I voted for like the uh rookie of the
Ah,
year.
you're outing me.
You're I know that you're taking a poll, and I love that you were so invested that you were like doing your rounds of like, hey, so who'd you vote for? Like, what's
I
happening?
know. It's so
So
funny
funny.
because it was like that was a really tough rookie of the year vote,
It
actually. Like,
was.
even for me, obviously I was really rooting for her because I truly thought she deserved it. And I also personally love when defenders like win those awards. As I
Yeah.
mean, I played soccer as a kid just for a few years, and I switched to tennis, but I was a defender when I played, except for one season of indoor. I was goalie, and I was like, never again. But
Yeah.
goalies are crazy. That life is not for me. But I was always a defender, so I always kind of like love when defenders get their
Yeah.
accolades, get their flowers. So yeah, I was really hoping that she would win, and she did.
Yeah.
But yeah, tough rookie class, and this one's going to be even crazier. I don't
Oh,
even
seriously.
this year rookies are going to be like, I don't even know.
Another
Amazing.
level. Yeah.
Another level.
Seriously.
So, really looking for, I love watching rookies play and just seeing how they acclimate to the league and just seeing all the new talent come through. I think it's like so
Yeah.
cool. And, I was so bummed I couldn't be at the draft because it's hard to get out to
Yeah.
California from New York, but,
Yeah.
it's
We
just,
missed you.
I know I was bummed not to be there, but I mean, the merits of having a draft can definitely be debated for sure. But the one
Yeah.
thing I do like about it is it's really cool to just kind of see these players like living out a dream of going pro. Like, I think that's so special, and that's why I love watching rookies play.
Yeah, and too, like, I mean, there's so many different moments when it comes to being in the media and like seeing those special things of like someone getting drafted and their name called and just that
Hmm.
moment of all the emotions, or like someone scoring their first goal, or like the game winning goal, like all the a save, like so many things. And then as media, like we get to be in on that with coaches and players and like asking them more and like learning about just their scenarios or style of play, like whatever
Hmm.
it is. So there's so many different things. But like for you, are there any favorite like interactions that you've had with players, whether you're talking to them like before a story or when you're
Yeah.
working on a story, or even like with the staff members that you can share it about that like just come to mind when you think of like, yeah, just those moments that have like brought you joy in the midst of like all the NWSL like craziness too.
Yeah, of course. So, sticking with Jenna Nightonger briefly, so she was a penalty taker for Gotham. She took a few penalties for them. And then, the other night she scored one for the US national team, but she took a penalty in a game, and I forget which one at all. I've like at the end of every season, like black out from what happened and like
Right?
wipe my brain clean for the new one. And she missed. And so I asked Juan Carlos, the coach, about it in the press conference, and I said, "What did you say to her after the miss?" And he said, "I said to her that the only people who miss penalties are those brave enough to take them."
Ooh.
And that like really stuck with me because I was like, I'm sure he said that to other players throughout his career, and it's so true, and it just really changed my perspective on, when you see someone miss a penalty and you're like, oh, they missed a penalty, grumble grumble. No, it's they missed because they were brave enough to take it, and I just thought that was great. And so when she went up to take it for the national team, and people were like, oh, it's a young player and whatever, I was like, she's got it, like she's just got it.
Yeah.
So I really like that interaction. Another one of my favorite stories that's happened last season was, so unfortunately, McCall Zerboni had tore her ACL in the summer. I think it was like maybe August. And it was one of the last games, so it was like October, and I'm walking up the stairs to get to the press box, and there's elevators, but I'm not an elevator girly. I get like I a little claustrophobic, so I'm walking
Yeah.
up the stairs, and I hear the door shut behind me, and I look down, and it's McCall Zergoni walking up the stairs. She had just had ACL surgery
Girl.
like a month and a half ago, and I turned to her and I was like, what are you doing? Like taking the stairs. And she was just like, yeah, I'm just any little chance that you can get to like, rehab and go outside of your comfort zone. And to me, like that was just like, I mean, she's 37 years old. She's still playing. She was playing at such a high level last season before her ACL tear. And that to me just like really encapsulated, I think, like Gotham as a team, really, and like the
Yeah.
mindset that really got them their championship last year was that mindset that was making McCall Zerboni take the stairs barely 2 months out of ACL surgery. So I thought that was great.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think if there's any other good moments. I mean, it was really cool also just the last Gotham game before going all the internationals went to the World Cup, and just kind of being able to see the joy on everyone's faces, especially like Sinead Farley, just getting the chance to talk to her before she went with Ireland. And um
That was a good
that was
piece that you wrote. That was so cool that you put that
yes,
out.
yes,
Great.
that was cool. I got to do that for the New York Post. It
Chef's
was
kiss.
amazing.
Yeah.
She's fantastic. Just like her I think openness and willingness to share her experiences really impressed me, because it's not an easy thing to do. But what she had said to me is that it was important for her to show that like life goes on, like you can overcome these challenges and the anxieties and all of this. Um and then she goes and wins a championship with Mana
Yeah.
in the NWSL. It's just what a story, what a story. So yeah, it was a really crazy but fun season covering Gotham. And I unfortunately also couldn't go out to the final, which was a bummer. But I think just watching that was so surreal. Also, that was another great moment. I went to a watch party that I think Cloud9 had partially organized to watch the Cloud9, the Gotham supporters group, to watch, and it was just an incredible atmosphere. And you could just the Cloud9 supporters group and just Gotham fans in general, like longtime Sky Blue fans, are they're a different breed, but in like the
They
best
are.
possible
Yeah.
way. Like they have gone through the ringer with this club for years, and just to see the joy on their faces and be in that with them and celebrating those goals and the win, like it like still like I still have chills. Like it was just a crazy amazing experience. So yeah, last year was one for the history books for sure.
Yeah, a lot of good moments. I know it's hard to think about like some of those interactions because you're like, oh, I totally forgot I was like around this player or like doing this or whatever. And like, actually, I think yeah, when the first time I met you, we were covering a Gotham game. It was
Yeah.
like so fun because we had messaged like each other, on Twitter and then like texting and stuff. And just like whenever you're meeting someone in person for the first time, you just wonder if like that energy is gonna match and translate into like in person. And I remember you like we went to coffee and like you took me to the game, which was so helpful because I didn't have a rental car and I was just gonna Uber. And I was like, dang, Jenna's so cool. And then we went to the game and you brought candy corn, your classic candy corn.
Yeah,
I
I
love it.
did. I
And the
did.
press box, and we're like sharing it and all this stuff. And then at the end, when we were doing interviews, I remember like walking out with you and like bunch of people that we were with, and like the player just be like, "Oh hey Jenna, like how's it going?" And I'm like, she is so Jenna's it girl. She's so popular. I love it. And I felt like royalty walking with you because I was like, dang, everyone knows Jenna. And like, it was so fun. But
Because I
yeah.
show my face. They're sick of my face. No, no, that was I had so much fun that day we met. And I remember I'll
Yeah.
never forget it, one, because you're amazing, but also because we went to Paper Plane Coffee in
Yes.
Montclair, New Jersey. Shout out Paper Planes. They're the
Yes.
best.
So good.
And John, the owner, had got like the syrups that they put in coffee. He had gotten
Yes.
candy corn flavored syrup specifically for me to try. And he wasn't even there that day. He was just like, just go in and tell them like you're Jenna Tonelli and you're here for the candy corn latte
They
or
shouldn't
whatever the
even
heck I
drink
got.
after
Uh,
you. They really should. John, if you're
I
listening,
don't
name a
I
drink
don't
after.
I don't know if that particular drink would sell to anyone but me. It was extremely sweet, but I didn't hate it actually.
Yeah.
Um, it was definitely candy corn flavored. But that was, I mean, they're just what a great coffee place, and they have like a Gotham like flag in the window and
Yeah.
stuff. Like they're really cool. But um yeah, I don't even remember that part of the story when someone said hi. I don't remember that. But
I do. It was Paige Monahan, and I was like, dang, Jenna is over here just like,
Paige.
all cool with everyone. Like, I love that. So, one of the things that I really wanted to do with this YouTube series is like having a special guest every month because I get asked all the time about, like, hey, can I pick your brain on this? And I'm sure you do too, or people want to talk to you and like get advice and things. And like, while we want to help people, it's just, we're humans, like, we only have so much time in the day to like respond to people and like share our insights. So, yeah, one of the goals with this like YouTube series that I'm doing is that I want to like, I don't know, connect with people like you and just good people who are doing incredible work in the
Thank
soccer
you.
space and like feature you of course in what you're doing, but then like have people hear from you and like share your insight because I think it's so important when we can, yeah, use our voices to like speak truth and to speak like just, I don't know. I feel like telling it like it is, is so important. Obviously, being respectful of that. And like, you're just one of those people where I'm like, oh, like anytime talking to Jenna, like I can just go to her for like advice, venting, or like whatever. And, or a hype woman, like whatever it is. And so, like, just finding those people, I think it's important to showcase what they're doing because I know, like, when I first started out, and I'm sure when you started out, like, it just felt so intimidating or like, can I do this or
Yes.
whatever. So I think just trying to break down those barriers is, one of the important things. All right, Jenna. So last question I have for you is thinking about wow, this 2024 season. I don't even know what year we're in half of the time because it's going by so fast. But like there are so many different like moving parts to think about like expansion teams and just players who are have been traded or things like that. But for you, when you think about like the end of the season, I know that's a long way to think about, but do you have any predictions of like the final standings, maybe for like the top five teams or anything, top few
Oh
teams?
my
Do you have any
gosh.
thoughts? No pressure.
I like truly do not because last season was crazy. Like you think about the fact that Gotham actually only finished sixth in the standings and then won the championship. Like that's kind of crazy. And I've spoken with Juan Carlos and Yaya Bush West, the GM, during various times during the off season. And one thing that they've said, and even players have said, is during the off season, is that that wasn't good enough. Like they won the championship, but it still wasn't good enough. Which I like.
Yeah.
I love that. Like that's amazing that they think that. They want to get the shield. They want to finish first, and I think there's obviously teams are around the league have shifted so much this off season, and that tends to happen, of course. But there's been so much shifting. It's just so hard to predict. Like I'm thinking about like North Carolina. Everybody thought they were going to be a flop
Yeah.
last season, and they ended up being incredible. So it's like I don't even want to venture a guess. I mean, like we were already talking like rookie. I couldn't even. I can't guess. Like
Yeah.
Savvy King, Corey Bethune, Macy Bell. Like there's just so many. Like any one of them could be rookie of the year. I don't know. I'm like literally trying to
Speechless. It's
think about
okay.
it in my head, and I can't even come
Yeah.
up with an answer.
It's okay. Honestly, that makes sense. That makes sense.
I do
Um,
think Gotham will be top five. I mean, I think I
okay.
can say that. I think that's their goal.
Mhm.
And clearly they're a team that when they set their minds to something, they're gonna do it now. So
Yeah.
I think they will be top five.
Okay.
I'm trying to think if I could make any other
Do you
predictions.
think an expansion team would be top five?
I think an expand I think
Still too
top
early to
six.
tell, but okay.
Maybe top six. Maybe I could see one sneaking in into the playoffs there.
Okay.
It's top six, right? That
I was just thinking,
uh,
I don't know, top five was like the first number that came to mind, but yeah, that's
no,
still good.
I know. Yeah, no, but I think I
Oh,
would not
yeah.
be surprised to see one of the expansion teams make the playoffs. Would not be surprised.
Okay.
But also like nothing would surprise me. Like you could tell me
Yeah.
that like Chicago Red Stars will win the Shield, and I'd be like, sure. Like sure, great.
Yeah. It is wild. Well, Jenna, those are the main questions I got for you. So really appreciate you taking some time, but always like to close out with just how people can support you in your work or like just following you on social. If you want to shout out any of your handles or just yeah, the best way that people can support you, like here's your time to shine on whatever platform, whatever you want to share in your last kind of final moments here.
Ah, thank you. Well, you can find me at Jenna Tonelli. Instagram, Twitter, Threads, any
Threads
of
is
the
kind
other.
of a thing still, I guess.
Like, what is Threads? I don't know, but I have it. I
Okay.
do. Any platform that is me. And the best way to support my work, I mean, obviously subscribing to Equalizer is great, because that's the outlet I primarily write for. But even just sharing my articles on social media, honestly, that's the best way that I can demonstrate to publications of my readership, and it's the best way that I can get freelance work. So,
Yeah.
any type of sharing, likes, it really is appreciated. It really does help me. And like Jackie realized, I'm exactly the same person online as I am in person.
She
So
is. If you ever see Jenna in person, you have to say hi. I know
yes, please.
yeah, you gotta say hi. I know I've been intimidated when I see people, but I'm like, oh, should I say hi? I don't know if they'll
No.
know me or how they'll feel, but Jenna is hands down a good
Actually, you
person to
reminded me
speak
of
with.
one story from last season that
Let's
I
hear
want to
it.
tell real quickly.
Okay,
So,
go.
there was a Gotham game where, and I forget which one it was, but like maybe it was streaming on Twitch or maybe it was streaming on Paramount Plus. I forget, but like
Which
whatever the streaming platform was, like shat the bed. Excuse my French. Like it just stopped working. But for whatever or no, maybe it was on big CBS. Anyway, I forget. But for whatever reason, it was like still streaming in Canada. Like the Canadian broadcast was still working.
whoa.
So my friend in Canada, um, like I don't know, did some tech thing so I could like watch it on his computer. I'm 23, right? I don't even know what the hell he did. He did something so I could like watch it on his computer, and I was live tweeting the game until the stream went back up or the broadcast went back up, whatever it is. So,
Yeah.
it was like a good like 15 minutes or 20 minutes of like just me live tweeting like this game. And so the next week, there's a home game, and I was walking around the concourse at Red Bull Arena, and a fan came up to me and was like, "Thank you so much for doing that. Like
Oh,
that was amazing." And I was just like, "Oh, that was so nice," because like a lot of times, like you're just like shouting out into the ether,
yeah.
and like, well, you don't really understand that, people are like reading the crazy things I write about, like iced
Yeah.
coffee and stuff. Um, so that was really 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 great. And just there's just been times where I've just been at Red Bull Arena, and fans have come up to me and just thanked me and just wanted to say hi and introduce themselves. And like to me, like that was great too, because as somebody who is a soccer fan and was a big NWSL fan who had trouble finding a ton of decent coverage, like I'm so happy that I can like lend my voice to that. And I'm so thankful for the folks like Steph Young, Meg Linehan, like just like the folks that have been like pouring themselves into this coverage of this league for since the very beginning. And I'm just like so grateful to be part of that storytelling. And so yeah, if you see me, please truly come up and say hi, because
Yes.
um yeah, I do it for you guys.
Oh, Christ. Well, that is Jenna Tonelli. So for all of you, so Jenna, thanks again for your time and sharing so many great stories and all the things. So really appreciate it. And yeah, be sure to follow Jenna's work on socials. I'll plug them here so all of you can get the latest on her incredible stories. So thanks again.
Oh my
Um,
gosh. Oh, I'm
I
nervous.
know. No, don't be nervous.